welcome in this evening. I'm Lizzie Arbogast, sports editor here at Tallapoosa Publishers, alongside managing editor Santana Wood. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. We are here for another night of TPI Talks weekly news edition. We'll get right into it.
We're happy to be here with y'all tonight. We're going to get into several things tonight, but, I do want to just say a couple things about the unrest going on in the nation right now. Definitely a difficult time for everyone. I think that our area leaders really summed it up best. Our Alexander City Council members really, at their council meeting the other night, they talked so much about how, this should be a time to come together and, treat others as you would want to be treated yourselves. City Council member Buffy Colvin was very big about that over in Wetumpka. Started out the council meeting with just a prayer for the nation, and, really focused on the death of George Floyd and all of that our nation is going through right now, and just ultimately that this can be a time for us to come together. The last thing that we need is to be divisive.
Yeah, I agree. Everything that we've seen throughout the last several months have been opportunities, for people to come together and unify as one. And so I think that's important that we all keep in mind every day, but especially now.
So we will get into a peaceful protest that happened in Dadeville earlier this week tonight. We will also give y'all an update on the latest coronavirus numbers. We will give you some other news from across the area, Tallapoosa County, Alexander City Farmers Market coming up soon. Also got some Elmore County news coming up tonight.
Yeah, so we'll dig right into those coronavirus numbers. That obviously still is a big issue that we're seeing over the last week. We've seen an increase of over 2,500 cases now statewide at 18,554 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. So obviously there are more tests, but that still just shows that, there are a lot of people out there that are contracting this virus even now.
Yeah, and locally in Tallapoosa County, a total of 432 confirmed cases since the beginning of this whole thing. That's an increase of 22 from a week ago. 40 cases in Coosa County. That's an increase of 6 from a week ago, and 372 in Elmore County, which is quite a big increase, 72 new cases in the last week.
Yeah, so you're seeing those graphs that were made here at TPI, to show you guys the curves. I do also want to mention that Tallapoosa County has the 9th most cases in the state, and Elmore County is not far behind at 12th most in the state. So, it's still important to keep those things in mind. In the last 14 days, the ADPH is reporting more than 5,500 new cases as well.
Also, they are providing that county-specific data now as well in the last for the last 14 days. 53 new cases in Tallapoosa County over the last 14 days, 14 new in Coosa County, and 149 new cases in Elmore County over the last 14 days. Also, got an update on recoveries. Since the beginning of this whole thing, a total of 11,395 have presumed to be recovered according to the state. So that's good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We always want to hear about those good things that are happening amidst this entire pandemic. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're going to talk some Tallapoosa and Elmore County news as well as some sports news. Hey, welcome back again. I'm Lizzie Arbogast, sports editor here at Tallapoosa Publishers, alongside managing editor Santana Wood. We want to dig right into some local news. Obviously, there was, what started very small turned into more than 60 people gathering in protest at the courthouse square in Dadeville on Tuesday.
Yeah, so that was a peaceful protest for the death of George Floyd and the mistreatment of the Black community. It started out with just one person on Monday and ended up with more than 60 people of all races gathered. Even children joined in and made their own signs as well. Many people stood with signs for hours there at the courthouse square in Dadeville with signs such as with messages like "I can't breathe," "Black Lives Matter," and other messages as well. And we do have a lot of photos from that if you'd like to check those out on alexcityoutlook.com now.
Yeah, so also locally here in Alexander City, our farmers market will be kicking off on Saturday. We'll have some different guidelines to follow, such as reusable bags, the farmers wearing gloves, patrons not actually touching what they want to purchase. Masks are strongly encouraged, but this is always a really good event, in terms of that getting those local businesses and local farmers out, and it's that farm to table type of feel, which is very cool.
Yeah, and that will run every Saturday through September. So definitely check that out. Also in Tallapoosa County, Terry Wright is celebrating 50 years in law enforcement between the city of Dadeville and Russell Lands. And he said he wouldn't have it any other way. He's very dedicated to his job, comes in early, leaves late, works 6 days a week. Very, very dedicated to what he does.
Yeah, he started when he was just 22, so that's definitely awesome to see that he's stuck with it all this time. So over in Elmer County, we are going to hear from both of our news reporters out there. We'll start with Carmen Rogers on some activities that are now available at Tallahassee Rec Center as it reopened with limitations.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Carmen Rogers with Tallapoosa Publishers. I'm here at the Tallahassee Recreation Center with Director Tammy Merrick, and the Rec Center reopened to the public back on May the 16th.
That's
is that
right.
Tammy?
That's right.
And while basketball is not permitted, there is a lot going on here at the Rec Center. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, we reopened the cardio room and weight room, which is a combined room now. We also have which we're standing in our new group exercise room. Yesterday, we actually mounted our TV. We're going to have, at your leisure, you can come in, put a video in. We have a multiple selection of exercise videos. So if you're on your own and you want to get your cardio on, you can come plug the DVD in, or you can do it as a group. You can come in and buy you a membership and do it as a group. So we're trying to give people more options. If we don't have an instructor at the time, we still give people an option to exercise, get there. And we have the circuit training equipment open. We are wiping things down daily, more than one time a day. But we have a group that comes in now that's pretty regular, some members. They also very nice about wiping up behind themselves. So everybody is adhering to our guidelines, staying 6 feet apart, being clean, being healthy and safe.
Right.
So we hope to add basketball back, but right now with the CDC guidelines, we can't. Their second sign up last night. I know there was 53 that signed up on the first. Have not got the yet from Donna Funderburk how many signed up last night. But again, these parents are ready. They're starting back Monday with practicing, and they'll be practicing throughout the day. She's keeping the practice times limited by age. And you have to stay in your car until it's your time, and they're entering through one door, exiting through another. So Donna Funderburk is wonderful.
Oh,
she's going to have those kids marching to a drill, and they're going to be, we can definitely keep the distancing with that. Unfortunately, we're not going to do swim lessons right now, and we're not going to open for open swim. But again, that's something I think we will do before the end of the summer. We're hoping July we can open up for everything. We're starting a water aerobics class for the ladies. That's going to start the second week of June. My sister is actually, Jennifer Singleton, is actually going to be teaching that class for us Tuesday and Thursday nights from 5:45 to 6:45. Again, we can social distance that because we can spread everybody out. We're limiting the class to 15. So we're building back up. We're excited about the summer. We're excited about things going on. Hopefully we'll get everybody back in to give these kids more to do.
All right, well, Tammy, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, everyone. Until next week, I'm Carmen Rogers reporting for Tallapoosa Publishers.
Hey, Lizzie, you're muted. Sorry, guys.
Whoops. So, as I was trying to say on mute, that was our Carmen Rogers reporting from Tallahassee on the rec center opening up and what activities are available once again. So make sure you read more about that in this week's Tribune.
Next, we're going to hear from our reporter, Daniel Dye, over in Wetumpka. He's going to give us an update on a Wetumpka facility that was virtually COVID-free for much of the pandemic, but has seen its cases grow again.
Good evening, I'm Daniel Dye, senior reporter for Tallapoosa Publishers with news from Wetumpka Health and Rehab. According to NHS management spokesperson Joe Perkins, 35 residents and 20 employees at the facility have now tested positive for COVID-19. Last week, we'd reported 34 residents and 2 employees had tested positive for the illness. He said the reason why 20 of the employees tested positive is because everyone at the facility is being tested. He also said based on testing data from all NHS managed facilities in the state, at least 60% of people producing positive test results are asymptomatic, meaning they present no symptoms. The American Healthcare Association estimated it would cost more than $7.5 million to test every staff member and resident of long-term care facilities in Alabama one time. Perkins said workers at Wetumpka Health and Rehab are doing all they can to care for their patients and communicate with the families, and he expects most of the 20 employees to be back at work very soon.
We also appreciate hearing from Daniel Dye out in Wetumpka. We are glad that he was able to come in with us this evening.
Yeah, get an update over there at that facility. You know, they have tested all of those residents and employees now and, continuing to monitor that situation there.
Yeah, so in sports, it was an exciting week a little bit. Our athletic activities around the AHSAA have been allowed to reopen. Some have still held off. Benjamin Russell, Horseshoe Bend, Elmore County, Stanhope, I believe, are the 4 in our Tri-County area that have started already. A lot of teams have kind of decided that they're going to wait until next week because that was sort of the original date that they were planning on anyway. Gives kids an extra time to get those guidelines down, to get their paperwork in, those kind of things. I was impressed. Went out to Benjamin Russell's practice on Monday or workout on Monday, and I thought the coaches did a really good job. I mean, kids will be kids, right? So like I haven't seen each other since March, most of them. So they want to get around each other. They want to talk. And the coaches were great about, hey, spread apart, widen out, get yourselves apart. So I was really happy to see that, and we'll see how that progresses as more and more teams start. And a lot of volleyball teams will probably be starting in action as well next week.
Yeah, I know that they're just ready to be together, even if they do have to follow those precautions, ready to be back on the field, back on the court soon as well, and just get some sort of normalcy there after not being able to do anything for so long and, having the school year cut short and all that. I know that they're just glad to be together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do appreciate y'all tuning in tonight for our weekly show. We will be back here next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to deliver you the latest from all across the area. And we appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, I'm Santana Wood, managing editor alongside Lizzie Arbogast, sports editor. Y'all have a good night.